Jane, we have to take him to the hospital.
Father!
He's fine. Look at him.
I'm down! I know you can hear me. Open the Bifrost.
Hospital. You go. I'll stay.
You. What realm is this? Alfheim? Dornheim?
New Mexico?
You dare threaten me, Thor, with so puny a weapon?
That's a clip from the comic book blockbuster Thor, starring Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman, who's really hot.
Absolutely. This means the summer movie season in full swing now. Our movie guy Aaron Lafferty here with more on this weekend's biggest movie.
Yeah.
Really, this is the opening of the summer season. Seems kind of early.
Yeah, well, it's May usually always marks that. Last weekend we had the 5th Fast and Furious movie, Fast 5.
Right.
So that was officially the first movie of the summer, summer movie season. But we had the royal wedding.
Well, don't, you know, because it's Memorial Day, there are always a ton of movies coming out trying to hit that holiday weekend.
Right. That's when we're going to get Hangover 2 and Kung Fu Panda 2.
Ooh.
But this is going to be the first, so this is the first full weekend of May. So that's how we're kind of marking it. But Fast and Furious, the 5th one last weekend, kind of really started it off. This is a big budget movie. It's also in 3D. It's based on the comic book. $150 million budget movie.
Whoa.
So it's hoping to get as much of it back as it can invested in this movie. This is a tough, I got to see this on Tuesday night, this is a tough comic book character to bring to the screen because you've got, basically he lives in another world, another universe. I'll try to just make it as simple as I can on that. He lives in another realm of the universe, and then he comes to Earth because his dad gets mad at him. His dad's the king of Asgard, if you will. So basically strips him of his power and sends him to Earth to kind of learn a lesson. And that's when he meets Natalie Portman and Stellan Skarsgård and Kat Dennings on Earth and kind of learns how to become a better hero, if you will.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Interesting.
So-
That's right.
So, you know, you said it was kind of a comic. I mean, there's comedy in it,
Right.
too. It's not just kind of sci-fi, which is a
Right.
little bit different.
We've seen Marvel Studios do this a lot with, you know, Iron Man did it, in the X-Men movies they did it, where there's a lot of serious action, but they also add some comic relief. Like Thor, who's this big, powerful hero, gets tased, you know, so I think, so there's a lot of those things. I didn't want to give them all to you, but there's a lot of little things like that in the movie that kind of keep it, and also kind of bring it more humanized because he's kind of from another world, kind of AKA Superman coming to Earth. You kind of have to, you know, try to bring it down, and they've got like
Culture shock.
Right, they've got like iPods and laptops to kind of, you know, modernize it and make you feel like you're in Earth and normal.
Interesting.
things. So it's pretty good, you know, for men and women.
Yeah.
If this is a movie you wanted to see, go see it. If you're not totally interested or don't know the whole story, maybe wait to rent it.
Is it PG or PG-13?
PG-13.
PG-13, okay.
Right.
Yeah, and there are options this weekend, too,
Yes.
which is nice. So if this doesn't fit the bill,
The counter programming would be something borrowed. So you got your romantic comedy, you got Jennifer Goodwin, Kate Hudson, Colin Egglesfield, and John Krasinski. Basically, this is two friends, Kate Hudson and Jennifer Goodwin's characters, and she is engaged, but Jennifer Goodwin's character, she's the brunette, is in love with the fiancé because they were friends at one point.
Yes.
So you've got this love triangle going on.
And this is based on a book by Emily Giffin, who is extremely
Yeah,
popular
this was a
writer.
really big bestseller. So many book
Sure.
clubs I know studied this book and discussed this book. So you haven't seen this yet?
Haven't seen this, but it's not getting very good reviews either from the critics or fans. Nationally, the aggregate sites are giving it about a 5 or a 4
Out of 10?
out of 10. So not so good. Maybe wait to rent this one.
Okay, very good.
Unless you really want to go see a movie and don't want to see Thor, maybe go see that one.
Okay. All right. So what else do you have for us, Aaron?
Something that's getting a little bit better reviews is Jumping the Broom, a movie probably most people haven't even heard about. It's Paula Patton. She was in Precious, if you remember her as the teacher.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett. Basically, this is on the eve of a wedding. Paula Patton's the bride to be in the wedding, and her family's kind of an uptown, kind of more of a rich family, and he's from more of a middle-class family. So basically, the two families meet, and kind of everything just what happens when two families meet from two different sides of the city, basically.
Right, interesting. Sounds good. Yeah, it sounds like another interesting counter programming to Thor, which is, you know, the big one.
Right,
A lot of other
right. And that's getting about a 6, so a little bit better than something borrowed. Also, in limited release, a movie that I watched last night was There Be Dragons. It's basically the story of the Opus Dei founder. So if you're into the Spanish Civil War of the early 1900s, or if you're into the Opus Dei part of Catholicism, this is kind of a movie for you. The founder of that, Jose Maria Escobar, played by Charlie Cox, which is pretty much the one good piece of acting in this movie. It's very well shot. It's got a good score to it. it's Spain and Europe, and it's beautiful and it looks great, but the acting isn't so good. There's some elements of it that aren't so good. I put the full review on my blog, but basically
Right.
this movie also wasn't doing very well. I gave it a 5. Critics are giving it a 4.
If
so.
you enjoy Dan Brown books
Right.
and the movies made from that, you
Right.
might actually like this.
Right, and the director of this movie did The Mission, so if you like The Mission or The Killing Fields, those kind of movies, it's a little bit slower, pretty much sad overall tone to it, because there's just some heavy, weighty things that are going on in this movie. I didn't really like it too
Interesting.
much. It's playing in 5 theaters in West Michigan, so.
Cinematography looks spectacular.
It was.
though.
That was the best part of the movie, I think.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Gosh, a lot happening.
And we got one more in limited release, and that's a very different kind of superhero movie from Thor, is Super, and it's Rainn Wilson. This is not a comedy. This is.
It's not?
No, he's a vigilante. He gets upset because Kevin Bacon basically steals his wife away from him. Kevin Bacon's not a very nice dude, and Rainn Wilson kind of retaliates and creates his own superhero, and he teams up with Ellen Page, which we've seen in a lot of other independent movies, and. It's definitely a darker movie. It's not even rated by the MPAA. It kind of carries a really hard R rating because of the violence, because of the adult themes, because of the language. So this is playing at the UICA and the Harbor Theater in Muskegon.
Oh, interesting. You know, it's funny because I love Rainn Wilson. He's such a funny guy.
Right.
And the concept sounds like it could be a really funny comedy if
Right.
you developed the characters in a
Right.
different way.
Right, and the trailers that are out there make it look like it might be funny. Some of the lines he's delivering in the trailers, some of the clips you're seeing makes it look kind of funny, but this
Not
is
funny.
not a comedy. It's more of a serious movie with a character who is comedic, just in a from The Office. He's a comedic person.
So overall, Thor is going to be the big moneymaker
Right.
of the weekend.
Right. It's in
and the
IMAX
most
3D. It's in
attended.
3D. It's in 2D.
And it's in every theater,
It's in
I'm
every
sure.
theater. It's in lots of theaters. A lot of playing time. So it's going to get a lot of attention, and should beat out Fast 5. But we've got a lot of other movies coming out down the pipe. So we'll see if
it's
it can.
exciting.
We'll see if it can hold for 2 weekends. That's going to be the real test because it's a $150 million budget. If it can make that money back, I don't think it's going to do it in one weekend, obviously, but see how long it can hold.
Interesting. And you've got a lot of review information on your blog. I
Absolutely.
know you work frantically trying to keep it up to date all
It's
the
a
time.
late night last night.
Laugh at the movies.
Yep.
You're on Facebook as well.
And Twitter.
And Twitter, yeah. Follow
YouTube.
Aaron on Twitter. Find out what he's up to.
Yeah. So there's
I live
yeah.
my life vicariously through my cinema life.
Yeah,
through
I was
you.
going to say.
Exactly. Well, I'm sitting watching basketball and following you
Right.
on Twitter.
Right. So, and if you do go see the Thor movie, and because you're a Thor fan, or you're a Marvel Universe fan, whatever, comic book fan, definitely stay through the credits. If you walked out early, you're going to miss something at the end of the movie.
Oh,
Which
good.
leads up to the Avengers, which opens at this time next year.
Perfect.
right.
Great advice.
All right, well, thanks, Aaron. We appreciate
You
it.
bet. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
That's West.